Hello everyone. So I tried for a few hours this morning to do a decent video tutorial for how to install the Dart Flyscreen on the Trident 660. As you see, I've got the brackets installed. I got it done, but it was no easy task, and it was too difficult to get this on and do a video at the same time. So I'm gonna try again. I'm going to change out the mounting bolts that are on there. I don't like them. They strip out a little bit too easy, and this mount right here, as you can see, is not as secure as this one because I can't quite get it cinched down enough, and the bolts keep stripping out the tops of them. So went to Lowe's and got these are M5 30 millimeters, and they'll take a 4 millimeter socket instead of a 3 like the ones on there. So we'll try those out. So as I replace these, you can kind of see what it's going to take to actually get the brackets mounted on there. The brackets are tough to get in there. You got to get through all of these cables that are mounting the instruments to the top yoke, and there's 4 of them. So you can see one right there, and it's to remove the stock one, it's way up there. And then this right here is a spacer. So there's a aluminum spacer, and then the bracket, and then the bolt, and that's a 3 millimeter hex head. So I'm going to take that out and replace it with this 4 millimeter and see if it holds a little bit better. We'll try it out. The other hard part is so you got to get the spacer in there and the bracket, and then thread that screw in there. It's easier to get the back ones on first, and then the front one is up around the other side there, right there. It also helps to take a 14 millimeter wrench for this bolt and a 17 millimeter wrench for this nut, and loosen up just this bolt right here, and then you can swing the headlight down and out of your way. That is not in the instructions from Dart, but I recommend doing that. Gives you a lot more room to work with, and I might have to do that here in a second. We'll see. All right, so first thing I want to do is see if I can get these off. And I just went for a ride, so everything's really hot. And if I just do one at a time, the bracket should stay in place, no problem. But as you do it, you want to kind of make sure you can get one on there loosely, so that you can move it around enough to get the other bolt on there. And so you can see the spacer there starting to move, and that's just great. Okay, so I'm going to try and get this ready. Okay, that was about as good as I could hope for. And this is still a little loose because I think it's that front one. I'm going to go ahead and cinch it down a little more. And it doesn't need much, but I was able to torque that down a lot more than this little guy here. That little 3mm just didn't want to get in there. Alright, so let's get the front wood off. You can see it right through there. I'm gonna see if I can get to it without moving the headlight. And I got a little piece of chalk here. I'm just going to make a little mark on both sides of the bracket there so I can get that back to where it was. Alright, so 17, 17, 14. Alright, and there is a cable right there, so you don't want to pull too hard. Alright, now, so we got a little more room there. That's better. As you can see, that was not very tight. Alright, so let's get my other one ready. Alright, there we go. Found the bolt. It was just in my other pocket. Now I also want to make sure that this bracket's not pinching anything. So I have wondered if that was the reason why it did not want to cinch down in there, but no. There is the zip tie is attached up here, but the frame of the bracket for the fly screen, it does go underneath these cables. That's one of the difficult things about the installation, is getting that bracket back behind and up above the cables, and then getting the spacer up above the bracket. So I got my finger on the spacer there, and it's all pretty loose. Alright, so I'll see if I can do what I did before. I'm just gonna hand loosen if it wants to. There, come on. Yeah, it just either felt like that bolt didn't want to cinch down. It's possible I got it cross-threaded. I wouldn't put it past me. But it didn't want to go much more than that. Alright. Alright, so let's get that spacer back up where it belongs. Here, I don't need that just yet. Alright, now this was also the most difficult hole to find. There we go. Push that bracket up. And see, oh, I thought I felt it. There it goes. Alright, I'm going to go very careful because the threads don't feel 100%. That's a lot better. Alright, so I'll do a review of this shield, but I would say that go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot, and get some better hardware. These are M5.8 by 30, and it's got a hex top, and it's a 4mm. The ones that come with the kit for fitting from Dart have 3mm, and they're just soft. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the other side too, even though it's nice and snug, just for peace of mind. And I think there's an extra $2. Ooh, wrong way, Robertson. There we go. Much better than I was able to get last time. All right, and doesn't need to be super snug. All right, much better, much better. All right, so if you get this down out of your way, you have 1, 2 on the left side, and then that's the front one for the right, and then the back one's behind that. You can just kind of see it back behind those wires. It's tempting to want to cut these zip ties here and get them out of your way. That might make things a little bit easier, but it's not necessary. All right, so those there. Do the front on this side first this time, just because it's right there if I can see it. That's like that. Okay. And that side I managed to actually torque down pretty well. It's probably a bit overkill to do this, but nobody would know but me. There we go. But this is the probably the biggest part of the installation. So you're getting the whole installation there, except watching me fiddle around and cuss at these brackets and trying to get the spacer up there next to the mounting hole with the bracket on the other side and be able to fit the bolt through it all. It's kind of a pain in the butt. It's not hard, and you don't need any special tools. You need a 5mm hex head to get the stock bolts off, and then 3 to get the bolts that come with the kit on, or find yourself some bigger, beefier bolts at your local hardware store. Then you need the 14mm and 17mm wrenches to lower the headlight down, and that's about it. Also a 4mm to attach the bolts through the screen onto the brackets there. So what, 4, 5 wrenches, a 5, a 3 or a 4 hex head, Allen key, whatever you want to call it. There it goes. And oh, the spacer stayed that time because the bolt behind it is actually tight. And then a couple of metric wrenches. So tool wise, it's not complicated and it's not a hard job. It's just these are tough to get to. And I'm making it look easy now, but this morning trying to get these in there and film it was a pain in the butt. So I stopped filming, took a bunch of pictures, thought, well, that'll be good enough. I'll just take some pictures and do a voiceover. And I may do the voiceover because you don't have to listen to me ramble. And I got a better microphone inside. But I've had enough of this today, so this might be what you get. Alright, so 3 down, 1 to go. Of course that went flying. Alright, so then you can see the back one right there. I also recommend not trying to do it on an empty stomach. That might have been my problem too. Maybe low on energy and patience. Dang, hands were shaking everywhere. I should have had a healthy breakfast. Most important meal of the day. Come on, get out of there. Alright, so you're having to watch me take these bolts out, but at least you get a good idea of where they are. These are easier to see than the stock locations, because stock locations way up there. And then that's the hard part there too, is getting that spacer mounted up there in the location, and then being able to get the bracket up and around and behind. You can see that that's the bracket right there. And there's just enough room for the wiring harness to go through. So that part's difficult, but you're getting the gist of it. It's easy right now to find these bolts because the spacers move them down. It's just finding them initially. That's one challenge, and then once you've found them and you take them out, that's great, but then able to find the hole again and put the spacer and the new screw in, that's easier said than done. And then finding the new screw. I'll also say, if you're having a hard time trying to find the screws, lay directly underneath and look up. That's what helped me get this one. So try that. So if you're handy, if you've been able to do everything else, if you can take the tank cover off and do other things, it's doable. Just leave yourself some time, take breaks if you get frustrated, because I thought putting the heated grips on and running the wires through the bars and out here, I thought that was tedious. This was tough. Also doesn't help that it's 93 degrees out here. Almost there. One more. One more. One more. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to keep the 4. And that looks a whole lot better. Okay, found the mounting bolts. They were in my other pair of pants. Alright, so I'm going to leave this down while I put it on. And so you want these with the little washers underneath like that. And make sure you already have rubber grommets installed. And then we're still using the 4. I want to get this kind of tight so it holds it enough so I can get the other ones on easier. I will say having this swiveling extension here helped out a lot, or if you have a wide assortment of long Allen keys, that can help you out. It was just nice to have the leverage of the longer ratchet here to get the stock bolts off. They weren't on super tight, but if you're trying to like just twist the little Allen key, because you're using the long portion to try and get all the way up there to the stock bolts, it was a little tough to get off, so I switched that to this, and that made it a lot easier. Okay, much better. Before it was on there, but this side, the left side, moved around a little bit. Let's make sure these are nice. Keep it snug. No need to over tighten. There we go. And take the headlight, line it back up with our chalk line. Whoa, easy there. Okay, that's not moving. And how does it look? Pretty good. So, I'll do a riding review. I did a quick spin on it, went up a couple of exits on the interstate, and I like it. Looks wise, I just like it better than the Triumph one. I like that it goes up like this, it has this shape. The Triumph has the colored portion where it looks more like an upside down triangle, like that. But this looks a little more classic, a little more cafe racer. I did buy the, where'd you go? I also got the Piranha, thinking that I would have the Piranha on most of the time and then switch out to the Classic for out-of-town trips. And that's the difference there. It's not huge, so just a little more streamlined with the Piranha. The Piranha looks better in pictures, but to me this looks really good. And my first test ride, I really liked it. Made things a lot smoother. Took the wind blast away enough. I mean, it's not going to be like a full windshield or a fairing or anything, but took the wind blast enough off of my chest that at 70, 75 miles an hour, you didn't really feel that pressure. It made things a little bit smoother, made it seem like I could do that speed for a more extended period of time. So anyway, that is how you install a Dart Dart Flyscreens Classic and or Piranha onto a Triumph Trident 660. As always, thanks for watching.